Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor and I share these What's for Dinner videos every Sunday to hopefully motivate y'all to try some new recipes to make for your family. So if you're new here and you like that kind of thing, I hope that you will subscribe down below. As always, any recipes that I mention will be listed out in the description box. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. It is Friday and we literally just got home from vacation at 6:22 at night. So on the way home, we stopped at our favorite Chinese food place and picked up Chinese to eat for dinner tonight. And we got a bunch of food so that we'll likely have leftovers for lunch tomorrow until I go grocery shopping. We don't have a lot of food in the house. So Andy got house fried rice. I got the sweet and sour chicken dinner. So we got chicken and pork fried rice, a dipping sauce, and egg drop soup. And then the kids got chicken fried rice and some chicken on a stick to share. And then one of these chicken on a stick came with my meal. And then I got 2 sides of chicken on a stick for the kids. And then it also came with 2 more chicken on a stick because there was a coupon if you spend a certain amount of money. And then Andy got wonton soup. So we have plenty of stuff to eat for dinner tonight and lunch tomorrow. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll be back to cooking after we get some groceries. It is Saturday night, and tonight for dinner we are doing spaghetti pie. Still did not go to the store. I'm going to go to the store in the morning, and then we will be back to making dinner. But I made this spaghetti pie last month, and I just like doubled the recipe and froze one. So I just pulled that out, had the directions written on it. Top it with mozzarella after you thaw it, and bake it at 350 for 25 minutes. I think I'm actually going to put it in there for about 30 minutes because the top felt a little bit frozen in the middle, so it might still be a little bit frozen all the way through, so it might take a little bit longer. So I'm just going to make sure it's cooked all the way through. I've got my oven preheated to 350. Just going to throw that in there. I put on about half of an 8-ounce block of mozzarella cheese. So we're going to do this and probably some salad. I'm going to see what is in the fridge that is still good. Okay, here is our dinner. This is Elijah's plate. He's got some carrots, some salad, and he is using this house vinaigrette from Aldi. We really like it. And then he's got some croutons. And then this is Andy's plate. He has the restaurant style Italian dressing from Aldi, some tomatoes and some croutons. And mine is the same as Andy's except for I have that house dressing like Elijah. And then Lily just has some sliced tomatoes, some croutons, and some carrots because she doesn't like salad. And that is going to be our dinner. I will leave a little update here on how we liked this spaghetti pie, if we thought it froze well and whatnot. The spaghetti pie turned out great. I will definitely double the recipe again and freeze half so that I have freezer meals like this to eat in the future. Sunday night I made a new recipe called 20-minute ground beef and broccoli stir fry. So I started off by browning 1 pound of ground beef. While my ground beef was browning, I put together the sauce. So for the sauce, I mixed together 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of brown sugar, about 4 cloves of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, depending on how spicy you want it. And I will tell you guys, I made this sauce and later on I decided that I needed more. So if you like things to have a little bit more sauce, I would definitely recommend doubling this sauce recipe because I went back and just made another batch of it later. And then I cut up one small head of broccoli into little tiny pieces. I cut off a lot of the stem, we just don't like it, and it cooks a little bit faster when you don't have that thick stem on it. So I cut most of that off and just cut them into about equal sized pieces. When my ground beef was done, I used the paper towel trick to remove any of that excess grease, and then I stirred in that sauce that I made and my broccoli, and I let that simmer, and I let it simmer for a little bit before I realized that I wanted to add in some more sauce. And then I just whisked in some more sauce and just let that simmer until the sauce thickened and my broccoli was how I wanted it to be cooked. I topped my bowl with some green onions and I just served this over some plain white rice. I will have the recipe for how I make my rice in the Instant Pot down below. Super easy. And this recipe was really good and quick to put together, so I will definitely be making it again. Monday night I made a recipe for chicken caprese. I needed a recipe to use up some mozzarella and tomatoes and basil that I had on hand, so this was perfect. I started off by heating up some olive oil and butter in my cast iron pan, and then I had 2 chicken breasts that I sliced in half horizontally, and I seasoned them with salt and pepper on both sides, and then I added them to my hot cast iron pan and just browned them on each side for a couple of minutes. They don't have to be cooked all the way through because this is going to be going into the oven. Once the chicken was browned on both sides, I divided a 6-ounce jar of pesto between the 4 pieces of chicken, and then I topped them with some fresh mozzarella and some tomato. And this tomato we actually grew on our tomato plant, and it was actually so delicious. The fresh tomato from our garden. I say our garden, we have like 3 plants in pots, but it was really good. And then I seasoned those tomatoes with some salt and pepper on top. The recipe didn't say to do this, but I did it anyway. And then this went in the oven on 400 degrees for about 12 minutes until the chicken was cooked through. And then when it came out, I drizzled it with some balsamic glaze. I actually didn't make my own balsamic glaze because I didn't have any. And I just had to heat some balsamic vinegar with some brown sugar over medium heat until it reduced. And I drizzled that on there, and then I also put on some fresh basil, which also came from my basil plant. Using up things that I have on hand is the theme of What's for Dinners lately. I've got a cilantro plant and a basil plant and tomato plants, so you'll probably see a lot of those in recipes for the rest of the summer as my plants continue to produce stuff. So to go with this, I made some Parmesan butter noodles. While my chicken was in the oven, I boiled 8 ounces of fettuccine noodles in some salted water. When they were done, I drained them and reserved about half a cup of that pasta water. And then I added 3 tablespoons of butter, about a cup of Parmesan cheese, some salt and pepper, and that pasta water, and just mixed it all together really well until it was all combined. I served my chicken on top of the noodles and Andy's as well when he got home later that evening. The kids just had their chicken cut up on the side of their noodles and they loved it. I'm so glad that my kids like pesto sauce now, because this time last year neither one of them cared for it very much. So I'm very happy that they like it, and I don't know if this was just so good because it was so good or if it was so good because a lot of the ingredients were fresh ingredients from our garden. I don't know. It was really good, and if you like pesto and basil and stuff, I think you'll like this recipe. Tuesday night, I tried a recipe called barbecue ranch chicken casserole. So I started off by boiling some salted water, and then I cooked 12 ounces of bow tie pasta. Once my pasta was cooked, I drained it and then added it back to the pot with some diced onion, a can of rotel, a can of corn, some cooked chicken. For my cooked chicken, I had some chicken that I had seasoned with Tony's and Badia Complete and chopped it up, and I had frozen it. So I just let that thaw the day before, in the fridge. And then I added in some cooked bacon. I'm using the real bacon pieces that I picked up at Sam's Club, some ranch, some barbecue sauce, and some cheddar cheese, and I mixed that all together really well. And then I transferred that to a casserole dish and baked it at 350 for about 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, I removed the casserole from the oven, and then I decided to top it with some more cheese. So I topped it with some mozzarella cheese and then stuck it back in the oven under the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes. And here's what that finished casserole looked like. Honestly, this looks better than it tastes. We weren't huge fans of this. I think it has to do with the fact that I used a ranch dressing that just wasn't my favorite ranch dressing. It was a Simply Ranch one from Aldi, and I was honestly just trying to use it up, and I thought using it in this would hide the fact that we didn't really like it. But I think we just didn't like this casserole because I used a ranch dressing that we didn't like. So I recommend sticking to ingredients that you know you like a ranch dressing that you know you like. There's a different one from Aldi that we love. So if I try this again, it'll definitely be with a ranch that I know we love. Wednesday night, I tried a recipe called slow cooker cilantro lime shredded pork. So in my crock pot, I've got about a 2-pound pork loin, and to that I added 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and about 2 teaspoons of salt. Then I put my lid on this and let it cook on high for 4 to 6 hours. Right around this time on Wednesday, I came down with a migraine, I'm guessing is what it was. It was pounding behind my eyes, and it was the worst feeling I ever felt. So I was very thankful to have this recipe in the crock pot that evening. When it got done, I just shredded it up. I used my little meat chopper thing, and it shreds it really nicely. And then I added in about 1/2 cup of chopped cilantro from our cilantro plant outside. And then I just served this as tacos. I cooked up some hard shells in the air fryer. It only takes about 3 minutes to cook them in the air fryer on 300 degrees. They cook super fast. And then we had some lettuce, some cheese, and for tomato, we just used the fresh tomato salsa from Sam's Club that I shared in last week's video. Super easy dinner, and I was so thankful that I had this in the crock pot. It is Thursday, and tonight's dinner is super easy. I just made some chicken bacon ranch wraps. So I made some chicken tenders in the air fryer. They're back there. I made some bacon in the oven. And then we just rolled it up with some cheese and ranch. Only mine has ranch and Andy will eat ranch. But the kids just have chicken, bacon, and cheese. And then we've got some carrots, some cucumber, some of these summer BLT chips that we had picked up when we were on vacation. Eating the last of those. And the kids have some sweet peppers. But that is going to be our quick and easy dinner for Thursday. And that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. It felt really good to be back in the kitchen cooking again. I enjoyed vacation, but I missed home cooked food. So that's why I tried quite a few new recipes this week. Hope that you guys got some ideas. If you did, let me know in the comments down below what you plan on trying. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye!